Okay, so welcome to our podcast. This is a little bit different today because this podcast is a spin-off of our radio show. This podcast, I just talk. I just want to I'm not even going to introduce you. You know, we're just going to talk. I'd probably say another thing, but this is Craig DeMarco anyway. And I wanted to have you on because, yeah, you have all these great restaurants, but I just love your biohacking life. If it falls under the umbrella of biohacking, or is it spiritual? But what is it? Because I know you the retreats you do, and I'm going to get into that, but also the fact that you hike Camelback every day. Do you still do that?
A lot, yeah.
Did you do it today?
I think I did not do it this morning. I had a long meditation this morning, but I've been doing Camelback since 1988, and I haven't counted every single hike, but I'm probably in the mid 4,500, 4,600 hikes. So over a long span of time. And I always joke with people, you know, when I started hiking Camelback, it was much lower in elevation. And I hike to the top and I drop all my emotional baggage. And now it's actually taller than it was when I started. So, I mean, I love that mountain so much. It's so special to me. But
do you time it? Have you timed it?
I used to. I'm 55 now and I can't hammer like I used to hammer. But when I was in my 20s, I could go sub 20 minutes without much effort. But that was when I was doing it 300 days a year. Are
you going Echo, Choya, both?
I do Echo almost 99% of the time. I'll do Choya when there are people in town that want to see a different perspective of the valley or a trail. But I love Echo Canyon. Is
there a hack to it? Because I know, how do you handle it in the summertime?
Early, headlamp most of the time.
Like 4 a.m.?
Yeah, 4:30. I'd get up there 4:30, 4:45. You know, and again, I'm not complaining, but as I get older, doing it in the heat's getting harder.
Yeah.
I could handle it in my 20s when it was 100 degrees, but now it wipes you out pretty good.
Okay, let me ask you this. You have two boys, right?
Yep.
Do you, they obviously know you do that. Did they ever go with you? Did you make them go with you?
When they were younger, we went up, and it was great. I mean, it was really special to me. Mm-hmm. But I always told them, you know, by the time they got up to go to school or when they were young enough to remember, I had already hiked a mountain. Mm-hmm. Everything else in my day was just going to be easier.
Right.
I already accomplished something substantial.
Right.
And that was kind of a message we had in our family. Get up and accomplish something in the morning. Set your day off in the right direction.
Right.
So I kind of used that was my thing that I did that really got me going for the day.
Now, did your father do that for you?
Wow, great question. My dad was a crazy entrepreneur, and he was traveled a lot. He was a salesperson, so he was gone a lot. I remember his hustle. I don't remember his routines. Mm-hmm. That's a great question I'd like to ask him. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to call him when we get done here and ask him what his routines were when he was really getting after it as a younger adult with a family.
Well, for me, I remember my father always said, healthy body, healthy mind, and he was always exercising. There was a point where my weight fluctuated when I was a kid, and I remember when I was like 14, he would take me to 24-hour fitness and we'd work out, but I think he was taking me there so that I would work out. So when I got older and had kids, my weight fluctuated a lot. And I wanted to make sure my kids didn't have that problem growing up. So when they got to the age, my dad died of a heart attack at 66, and he was in great shape. So I was like, holy shit, I got to do, and I was 350 pounds. So I got in shape, dropped some weight, and I thought, I don't want these 3 kids to go through that. So I started exercising. I started going to yoga, doing Bikram yoga. And whenever they got in trouble, I would take them with me. That was their punishment, 90 minutes of Bikram yoga, because I learned that from a woman in class. And then I realized, well, I don't want them to associate being in trouble with yoga. So as they got older, I started doing Orange Theory. And I took them with me to Orange Theory classes. And it turned into this competition. And it turned into this great bonding for me and the boys. So now, all 3 of them are in college. And all 3 of them, on their own, eat right, exercise, 9% body fat. You know what I mean? Not that I measure it, but I mean, they just actually got it measured on their own. So I was just curious if your kids have taken that, Dad, I Camelback every day. I'm going to go ride a bike today, or I'm going to lift weights today.
We've always promoted an active lifestyle. We've always promoted clean eating. So they've had that a lot when they were young. We had to be very careful, though, not to, be so in control of them that they felt like they were obsessed about it. And a couple times I had to make sure that they could enjoy being a youth and they can go to Chick-fil-A.
Sure.
And they can, that's what their peer group does. And so we weren't so rigid, but we did have a habit of a family of living clean and living healthy and being active. And I know, and I watched some of your kids play sports, and it was important for our family, for our kids to be in youth sports.
Same
We
here.
even questioned sometimes whether we had them overloaded, running from practice to tournament to practice. At the end of the day, it decreased screen time. It kept them active. And the lessons they learned being on teams, those are the lessons you take with you for the rest of your life.
You're right. You're right. You're totally right. But would you say, like, let's take your Camelback, you hiking Camelback. Were you obsessed? Is that an obsession?
Yeah, and everyone that knows how much I've hiked Camelback and how much I love it assumed it was for all physical benefits, but it really was the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, I've had some anxiety in my life, and it really helped me to, one, you know, have an outlet to go up there and spend some time. And it's almost, for me, it's meditative. Before I even really started practicing meditation, now I realize all those hour and 10 minutes up and down Camelback, it was a meditative practice for me.
Mm-hmm. I totally get it. You know, I've been going to Cancun and Cabo getting stem cells, and I met this guy last year, about a year ago today, right around a year ago this time, and he's a huge hiker, and he's from here. And we connected while getting stem cells, and he was like, come hiking with me. And because I have some calcium in my heart, and I've got to somehow figure that out, right? And one of the things to do for cardiovascular issues is cardio. And so I was like, yeah, I'll go hiking with you. And I went hiking with this dude maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And it's just different. You're right. Like, my mind, it's just this peace. It like lowers stress. But you hike alone, or you also ever hike with people?
I rarely go with anyone else.
Wow.
Because it's my practice.
Right,
Even
right.
my wife joke about this.
Right.
And I've hiked with her, but she knows it's what I do for myself.
Right.
And I have a little, again, routine and system. And over the decades, I've changed. I used to listen to a lot of aggressive music while I was hiking, you know, just because I wanted to charge it. Now I listen to content. Sometimes I don't listen to anything. I listen to my footsteps, really depending on what I'm trying to, how I want to live my day that day.
But that's Camelback. Do you do other hikes?
Yeah, but Camelback, we live, again, pretty close.
Right.
You know, I proposed on Camelback. We got married on Camelback. It's a special part of my life.
Right.
And it's close. But when I do have a chance, when I'm traveling, we were opening a new Postino in Colorado, in Westminster. And between the lunch and the dinner shifts on our friends and family events, I ran over and hiked Sanitas in Boulder.
Wow.
And did a cold plunge in the river and made it back before dinner service. So I'll work hard to find those opportunities.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cold plunge in the river is different, isn't it?
It's a different deal. It's different like your cold plunge when the water's moving.
That's a psycho cold plunge.
It's a different deal.
Yeah,
I remember
know.
being in yours and feel like razors going across my chest.
Dude, you know what's funny? I was in Cancun 2 weeks ago getting stem cells, and I'm in my own. The doctors told me 3 days, no cold plunge, no sauna, no hot tub, and I'm like, I feel like it has to be longer than that. So I'm on 2 weeks of no hot tub, no cold plunge, and it's just messing me up. I need that cold plunge. My new thing now, I love the sauna now. I've been doing the sauna for about 1.5 years. I love the sauna. But let me jump back to the meditation. When you said you did meditation today, what was that and what started that? And how has it helped?
So I always, dabbled with meditation through some apps or, my own exploring. And I really wanted to get more serious about and educated. So I started following this guy named Joe Dispenza, who I've become a raving fan of.
Oh, he's the one that was the Nashville thing.
I went to a week-long retreat in Nashville, my first retreat with him in Nashville last year. And then I went and did it in Cancun, another week with him in Cancun, and learned more about the practice of meditation, a lot of the science behind it. And I've been on 1.5 years now of a real meditation practice where I understand meditation differently than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think it was, again, any practice is beneficial. What I used to do was more like relaxation techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be able to meditate and really get outside of myself into my subconscious and lower my high-level beta brain waves down to alpha and theta and delta and understand how it really works, it's been an important part of my life.
How long is your meditation? Like today's meditation?
I do an hour almost every morning.
So will you meditate and also hike every once in a while, or is it one or the other?
Yeah, for sure. And if I don't do it I like doing the meditation first thing in the morning. Again, a routine and a start to my day to set some intentions. But if I hike instead, I'll pick up my meditation sometime else during the day.
And it's quiet. Like, can you do it in the office? Where do you do it?
I do it in my home office, headphones, mask, and completely sensory deprived. Because I think obviously you can just go a little deeper that way.
And are you sitting on a pillow? Or how are you doing it?
Yeah, I do sit. There's obviously different types of meditation. Sometimes in the evening I'll do it laying down, just trying to downshift from a crazy day. But in the morning I sit up. I have certain meditations that are guided that I follow, and they're all right around an hour. And, you know, my good days, I don't have to struggle to drop into that state. Some days I have to fight for it. And when I finally get there, though, it's so worth the effort. And, you know, when I first started, your body's just raging. It's screaming at you. It doesn't want to do it, and it doesn't understand, and you want to get busy because you're used to being productive. And taming that kind of inner beast was my hurdle. I had to really be able to let my body rage and not take action. And I'm usually quick to take some action. I'm kind of a quick twitch person.
Are you going to sleep at a reasonable hour? Like to sleep? Do you?
I'm
sleep?
a 9 to 5 sleeper.
Okay.
I usually go to bed at 9, and I'm pretty much up by 5. And
Okay, so if you're up at 5, when's the meditation start?
5:10.
Okay, and dogs, family, wife, kids, they know. Dad's doing his thing, leave him alone.
Yeah, and good news is my family and pets don't wake up that early, so I usually don't have any trouble with that. But, I mean, I go directly to it. And like anything else, being disciplined and getting some reps in, like anything, you just get better.
But if you do get interrupted, is it a big deal?
I don't care for it, but part of the practice is not making it a big deal.
Right. So so my wife meditates. In fact, Ian, our friend Ian.
Our mutual great friend.
Yeah, great friend. He got her involved. I don't know if he's tried to get you involved in this meditation group with the people in India.
I've logged on a couple times and done some online meditations with him.
She does it every day with them, every day, right? We have 6 dogs. Sometimes, if it's the weekend, see, when I get up at 3 a.m. and I'm gone, she can meditate, no stress, and the dogs are away. But on the weekend, I get up, I go do something, all 6 dogs will run and jump on her in the middle of her meditation, and it messes it all up. But she just keeps going. Dogs are calling her, she keeps going. But that meditation is a different type of meditation, or do you like, is it totally different than your meditation?
No, it's similar. I think they all have some commonality between them. What I like about the Joe Dispenza teachings is during the retreat, the week-long retreat, you start learning how to meditate and education about it. And then at the end of the retreat, you do these walking meditations with your eyes open. So I can really, I can practice that at any point in time. And I remember listening to an interview with Sting from the Police a long time ago when he was talking about walking around New York City. And as he walked around, he could meditate. So those disruptions or disturbances, really, if you have a healthy practice, you should be able to not be impacted them as much as like at my older state where I would just react to everything. I don't react to it. Yeah, you get interrupted, no big deal, and you let it go. So
well, it's like the guys that I was talking about with Ian and my wife. They talk about being in a beautiful state and always being in a beautiful state and trying to stay in that beautiful state. And I learned so much. I spent 4 days with them in South Carolina over the summer. I was helping them with a thing that Ian and my wife got me involved in. And it changed my life. Like, I've really learned to look at things differently, right? It's not, if there's chaos or something happens at work, you don't freak out over it anymore, or do you?
I'm way better than I used to be. Again, it's still a practice, but I got to tell you, Ian's given me many gifts, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
He's really taught me a lot of things. One, have a big vision. 2, really pull things in the universe you want towards you. And, I've been at his house for cold plunges and breathing exercises, and I would say he's introduced me to a lot of amazing things.
One of those things I want to get into is the back thing we did.
Oh yeah,
right. What do you call
the
that?
Table? The drop table.
Is that what you call it? Because every time I tell somebody I do the drop table, they say, "Oh, this." I'm like, no, that's not what it is.
It's not even close.
That's not what like it might even be illegal, right?
I don't know if it's illegal. It's definitely not certified or regulated.
Especially by the people, the guy that did it to me. Because you go to the girl, right?
I've done Max Van Orman with the same guy you went to.
Right.
I've done him, and I've led Ashton. Ashton and Dusty. And I've done Dusty's a couple hundred times.
Wow.
Maybe not that many, maybe 100 times, 120 times.
I've done Ashton, let's say 5 times, and it is one of the most amazing things, especially when you go to his office now where he moved it, where it's like in a real estate office.
Right.
Right. And then you get this back procedure done that you think you should be wheeling out of there in a wheelchair, but you're not. And it feels amazing. But he's also, when you do it with Dusty, do you get this moment where there's that moment where you think you're going to die? Does it still happen?
I always have a moment of hesitation, like I shouldn't do this, but
Right.
I usually do it after body work in a pretty relaxed state.
Okay.
I had a high level of trust with her.
Right.
I've been in that environment, where it wasn't so relaxed, and with Max and with Ashton, I think part of the benefit is the surrender also.
Right.
Not only the physical part of it, but giving in. You're out of control. You're giving up your control. You're strapped down. There's no going anywhere.
You got the mouth guard in. You've got the neck thing. Yeah, maybe we could. I'll post a video because one time I took a video. I posted on Instagram.
I remember that video.
And Ashton was like, "Take that down."
Yeah, which is probably a bad thing. But I found a lot of benefit from it.
Me too. But I get more scared every time I go. But anyway, in fact, sometimes he has people come over. His patients come over and use my hot tub and cold plunge after a session. Now, I'm part of his routine. It's been a while, but hey. Let's talk about some of the businesses you have, because is the most recent air guitar? Because I think I texted you from there when I was in Gilbert and I see that. Oh, that's Craig's place. Let me go in there. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's it. We're still trying to figure it out, but it's kind of this hybrid of a convenience store meets a small grocery meets a skateboard shop meets a funky retailer. We're still trying to figure out what it is, its identity, and East Valley is full of young families and youth sports, and we really wanted it to be a community center that happened to have all these fun products. So we're really getting that now. And like Sunday mornings, we have the Arizona Run Club there, 200 people taking off and running, starting and ending there, and it's really becoming that place.
But how does that come up? Like, how long from when someone had the idea to when you opened, and how did that idea get pitched?
So it started out, we have a place over in Encinitas, California, and we have some friends that had a place there. And my wife and I's partner in the business, is the largest Chevron operator in Arizona. They have 21 Chevrons. Oh, wow. And I was just intrigued about business, any type of business. So I was asking him about how his business works and inside his four walls and how the convenience store model works. And I always got intrigued by it because it's very high margin, very low labor. But convenience store experiences are all transactional. And there's nothing great. There's no design about it. It's just a transaction. And we kind of sat around drinking margaritas going, what happens if you took a convenience store model and made it experiential and put good design to the building and had a great playlist and had people that actually delivered great hospitality, and you still carried those products? And that was kind of how it started. And then it kept evolving, and we bought a hard corner out in Gilbert and built an award-winning building and filled it full of really fun stuff. And now it's...
But where does the name air guitar come from? Are you writing things down on a chalkboard and...
This is the story. So my wife and I were in Encinitas, so we were in San Diego, and my partner was flying in, and we said we'd scoop him up at the airport. Flew in to San Diego, and we're in the car, and he jumps in the back seat. And I'm not making this up. Guns N' Roses' Paradise City was on, and he's got a great spirit about him, and he's like jamming on air guitar in the back seat. And my wife was hysterical. She's like, "Oh my God, we should just call this place air guitar," because really, if you think of air guitar, it's more of an action than it is a word. Anything can get you to have a reaction and enjoy a pure joyful moment. So then we went and drank a bunch of margaritas, and the name just stuck. It was like, all right, it's air guitar, and it means nothing really other than it's a funny thing to do when you're happy.
You know what's funny? Because I read somewhere that like Exxon, because you said your friend has the Exxon or Chevron. What's he have? Chevron.
Chevron, yeah.
Okay, because I heard Exxon was, and same with Kodak, that those were marketing names that companies just came up with that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
But
we were just being goofy, and it wasn't literal, and now it's kind of got a brand behind it, and it's funny. But I remember when we opened, like, we're partners in Grande Orange Grocery. We opened Grande Orange, and no one could figure that name out and what it meant.
Right.
And now years later, it's common now. Everyone's just like, yeah, LGO, Grande Orange.
My wife was there today.
Yeah.
In fact, last night we ate at this. I had to go to this company function, and next door to the function was the Herb Box.
Yep.
That restaurant, the Herb Box.
Yeah.
We go in there, and my wife sees it through, and she goes, "Let's get that brownie right there." So we got the brownie. I go, "This brownie's delicious. Where'd you get it?" "We got it from Grande Orange." I was like, wow, all right, very good.
Crazy. Grande Orange turned 23 years old in June. So June 3rd was 23 years. It's coming up in 24. And Postino, across the parking lot, will be 25 years, April 4th of 26. So
Postino's first?
Postino's was first.
Which one?
Chris and I opened Postino Arcadia.
What? That was first?
April 4th, 2001. We rolled right into 9/11, crazy times. A year later, June 3rd, 2002, we opened up Grande Orange. So that corner, was...
Wait, was it that Postino first and then that LGO?
Yeah.
And then you started doing everything else? Those are the first two things you guys did?
First two, yeah.
How did Postino come about?
My wife and I went to Italy for my 30th birthday with my parents. We were bumping around north of Florence in a little town called Lucca that Chris Bianco recommended to us to go check out. every little town we went to had this little wine bar, and it was super casual, shorts, t-shirt, flip-flops, inexpensive wine, people just hanging out. We came back to Phoenix. It didn't exist. We were walking our dogs. We do boxer rescue. We're walking our dogs up and down Campbell Avenue because we lived over in that neighborhood at the time. And we walked by this old building that was a brick building. By Phoenix standards, it was old. It was 1959. By Italy, that's,
right.
brand new. And we pitched the landlord on the deal and opened up Postino with really, really no idea what we were doing. And then a year later, we did Grande Orange we're still partners in that business.
But when you open a Postino, are you there working in the restaurant? Or are you like, I just want to have the restaurant, have other people doing it?
I wish we had that option. There was no option. We opened up with no real capital in the bank. We were in debt. We had to do it all ourselves.
Right, so you're in there making the food.
We were 16, 18 hours a day. Yeah, my mom was out in front. Chris and I were there, bell to bell, even more. And we did that for a good 17 years. And we have a partner in that business named Lauren Bailey, who's an incredible talent who contributed at a ridiculously high level. And then we grew it. Now we've got 38 or 39 Postinos. Yeah, in 7 states.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude.
Yeah, but in 24 years, and a whole bunch of amazing people contributed to the success. It's fun that everyone associates with it, and we get to take this credit, but there's a lot of people that have their fingerprints all over it. And one thing I'm happy about, we were humble enough to take the help.
Right.
A lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people, just the neighbors, our neighbors, our community. A lot of people, Sam Fox helped us. It was great.
So when you went from Postino to LGO, same partners or even more partners, different partners?
Different partners.
So is that weird?
No. I mean, it's kind of like, how the industry works. And we're partners in Chelsea's too with the partners from LGO. And they're not partners in Postino though. And then now we have some private equity partners in Postino to help us grow.
Are you going to be like Sam and eventually just sell everything?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm so connected to it in terms of my heart and soul.
Right.
I really struggle with thinking about not being connected to it.
Right.
I've had to also kind of address my identities wrapped up in there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, what we've done. And back to my comment earlier about Air Guitar being a community center, that corner was important for the neighborhood.
Right.
That's where the neighborhood came, and we met people, and we've been around long enough now. We've had a couple who had a first date, ended up getting married, had kids, now their kids work for us. That's special.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen a lot.
Right.
So, and we could sit here for hours. I could just tell you of amazing moments that have happened inside the restaurants where people shared something special. And if we can provide that for the community, that means more to me than any amount of money we'll ever make. So
man, you're
I'm pretty emotional about it.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's wonderful. That's amazing.
Where I met Ian. I mean,
right.
And when Ian had At One Yoga up on 32nd
yep.
and Lincoln at the time, that was a community center.
Mm-hmm.
And all those people after his class would come down to Grande Orange, and it was...
LGO is something like we go there every weekend. Like it's a perfect walk from my house. Even in 100 degrees, we walk out there. My wife and I will go to bed and we'll look. Okay, so tomorrow it's going to get 100 at 11. So let's get to LGO around 8. You know what I mean? So what we do, it's like we plan our days around. That's great, man.
We've got a partner there named Bob Lynn, who's he's amazing with food, and he helped develop that. I mean, he developed that whole menu. It's pretty remarkable.
I know Bob. He used to be in my yoga class.
Yeah. Super talent.
I kept pushing him to run the Daybreaker longer than it was supposed to be. I was a big fan of the Daybreaker. Big fan of your English muffins too, dude.
Yeah, he's a super talent.
Does he? Where does that come from? Who makes? He makes the food? He's the one. Bob's like, these are how, because those English muffins. I also love Over Easy, the restaurant Over Easy, and one of the big things in Over Easy when I do their commercials, I do love their breakfast. But it was like, hey, here's a new commercial. We now have English muffins from LGO. Like that's in the commercial, right?
Bob's a ridiculously talented culinary person.
Does he have anything else besides LGO?
So he's partners. We're partners with him in Chelsea's, and he's partners in Ingo's and Buck and Ryder.
Okay.
And then he's got some other concepts. He lives
You
in
have
Los
Buck and Ryder
Angeles.
too?
Not us.
Okay.
Bob does
Okay.
with other partners. So it's kind of like, we all have things.
Yeah.
We have our upper projects, which is Postino, Windsor, Churn, Joyride, and Federal Pizza. And that's with our partner, Lauren Bailey. And she's our current CEO. And just, again, I'm so fortunate to have so many talented people in my life that I get to learn from on a daily basis.
Is there a new project coming out, or what's the next one?
We're trying to figure out what we're going to do with Air Guitar. Again, kind of like Camelback. When I was 25 or 30, I had a different energy level, and I love what we're doing, but it's harder to work 16 hours a day. And I don't know really that I want to spend 16 hours a day grinding like we used to. I'm finding other things in life to enjoy.
You know, it's funny. I completely relate to you. I just signed another 5 years with my radio show. This doesn't start until January. And I'm like, I love doing what I do. I just love it. I can't see me doing anything else, but I also at some point need to chill, right? You start to have those moments where like I'm getting into meditation. Maybe it's just the evolution of guys, what happens to us, right? Because I feel very on par with what you're like. I want to travel more. I didn't get the travel bug until recently. I was too afraid to leave. I was afraid that if I left and took vacation and wasn't on the air, something would happen. So I set it up where I could do my show from vacation. And now, most recently, we went to Europe for a couple of weeks, and I was like, I got to do this more often. In fact, when I would talk to you about being on this podcast, you were like, hey, I forget where you were. You're like, we're in Europe. Like, and I think you were there a long time, right? How long were you there this last time?
A week.
Oh, just a week?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was longer than that.
I got back and immediately got whatever was going around. So that's that's delayed it a little more. But yeah, we were in the south of France with some friends, and it was amazing. And I'm very fortunate. Like I've known my wife for 36 years, and 38 years. We've been married for 26. Mm-hmm. She got me into traveling. She exposed me to so much stuff. And, you know, being partners with your wife in a business is, you know, it has its own challenges, but she's remarkable. And she was there in the beginning. I mean, she spent a decade in Grande Orange, bell to bell, like open to close. She was in there and every single day of the week. And we did this, you know, together, but we were aligned. Mm-hmm. And now we're like, you know, we want to explore the rest of the world a little bit.
Yeah. That's how my wife's like, I want to go on a safari. Let's go do that. And I'm like, okay, eventually I think we'll get there, but I still want to do more. Like we were in Amsterdam, and I don't know if you've done this yet with all your traveling, but I want to go back because I want to go to all the countryside villages, like what you did in Italy, like finding a place like Lucca, but the Dutch version of that. Have you ever done anything like that? Gone around Holland?
My wife is a crazy, amazing travel planner. We just did Amsterdam with my 15-year-old for his spring break. Oh, and went. Took some trains and went and saw some cool stuff outside of Amsterdam. And she finds, I don't know, she's a researcher like crazy. So I'm the beneficiary of all of her researching and hard work. So whenever we travel, she finds the most unique things to do. But we talked about the kids too, like exposing your kids to that at a young age. My parents, we didn't have the financial means to travel like that when I was young. So it's fun to show our kids those things.
Did your kids work in the restaurants at all coming up?
So Chaz did when he was, he started out at Churn scooping ice cream when he was 16. Then he worked at Postino. And now that he's in school, he just hit Chris and I up the other day with a restaurant business plan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, you know, so we're talking about that now. Pretty exciting. It warms my heart that he wants to be entrepreneurial.
Right.
I was just hoping both my kids find that path. No pressure if they don't.
Yeah.
But, so I just got to figure out how to support him.
Are there any success books that you read coming up that helped you with your career and life?
Yeah, so my dad, when I was 18, gave me 2 Dale Carnegie books, How to Win Friends and Influence People and How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And I think those are 2 of the best books ever written for an entrepreneurial lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I don't think about being an entrepreneurial as business related. It's a lens you look through at life.
You know, my dad gave me those same books. Yeah. He also gave me The Magic of Thinking Big.
Great
by
book.
David Schwartz. Yeah, fantastic book. And of course, Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. Read those exact same books.
All those books. I read The Alchemist every January 1st.
Never read it.
Every starts my year off.
Wow.
And really, it's less self-improvement. It's more about, it's taught me, or it reminds me to listen to my heart as I make all these other logical decisions to kind of check in.
So what are other things you're doing for your health?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I've probably backed off on the biohacking type stuff.
I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, I know. I struggle with that too. And I love the new things and, you know, experimenting like through our peer group who, hey, try this, try that. Some things worked and I've kind of fine-tuned my lifestyle. I find now more a routine that in a pace is more important for me. You know, finding second gear, not being in fifth gear and foot on the gas, full throttle all the time. So things I can do to learn how to find the in-between gears. Because I do believe, and I love driven. I love being driven, but when you're driven, you're going pretty fast, and I think you're missing a lot of beauty in the world. And I think those are some things that enrich your life and improve your health if you slow down and find those joyful and beautiful moments. So, like you said.
But would you say before this, do you have ADHD symptoms? Are you going 100 miles an hour doing 10 different things?
I really like going fast. I really like stress hormones. I like the feel of it. I like everything about it. I like getting a lot of wins in the win category. I like solving problems. But at some point, if you don't slow down, I do think you miss out on a lot of stuff.
I think you're right. How do you handle screen time with you, with your wife, with your kids? I think it's an issue. I try very hard to not have my phone with me a lot.
Yeah, struggling with the kids because it's just their life. It's their
and the video games.
Again, awareness is the only thing you can share with them. For personally, I do a 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. digital detox. Half the day I'm off of a screen. That's my goal. It doesn't always happen. I leave my phone on for a case of emergency, but I really try to get off of the devices 12 hours a day. I go back to reading paperbacks or hardcovers, but books, not a device. I only look at social media on Sundays for 1 hour.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow, that's strong.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I found it impacting my life in a negative way.
The doom
when I'm looking at Instagram at a red light, it's a bad deal.
You're right. You know what I was telling you, that we walked to LGO, I leave my phone at home. I never take my phone with me. And then my wife, I'm going to play backgammon there in the back room. And whenever I get back, I go to my phone immediately. And it's so funny how I didn't miss anything, but when you have your phone with you, you're doing this, you're doing that. You said you're married 26 years. That's a long time. What do you think? What are some tips to a successful marriage? I know there's ups and downs, but.
I mean, I probably learned a lot about communication from Chris. She's just, she's great at it and taught me. And we've been through plenty of therapy.
Same.
And the hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And again, at the end of the day, she's enriched my life on a daily basis. And the moments that we have disagreements and I feel those stress hormones coming up a lot of the times, my resistance or my reaction probably made things way worse than they were. And again, that's part of my practice and why I'm working, or as being disciplined as I am now, to learn that different side of myself.
Yeah. Do you say? Because I'll be like, hey, look, I want to tell you something because I don't want to keep this in. So blah, and then it works. You communicate. It works. You tell them how you feel. It's tough, I think, to evolve to communicate those things. You know what I mean? It's but marriage has got the ups and downs. But then when it's going great, right?
Yeah, and it's tough. This seems to be a time of life. I'm a good part of my peer group is going through or been divorced recently.
Same.
So I'm living through a lot of that with them, and but Chris and I, again, I not every day's flawless, but I have a high level of respect and appreciation for her.
That's great. Again, biohacking. I don't want to get back to it, but I want to get to so you're extremely active with the hiking, the meditation, and do you have any pains in your body?
Okay, so yes, I've been very fortunate never to have a major or a catastrophic injury, but I'm having normal wear and tear as I get older, so I'm changing what I'm doing. And I realized even the way I do things, a little more flow than force. Mm-hmm. Like I used to hammer Camelback.
Right.
I'll probably pay for it at some time.
Where do you think you'll pay for it? Knees, back?
Knees, back. I mean, just overall, just when you're hammering away. I've traded out that for sure. So I take it really slow up and down. I've given up, competing to just do it slowly. I spend a lot more time in the pool now, swimming. That's one exercise that I think is a lifelong sport that you can always do. In fact, I was at the pool at the Village earlier this year, and the guy in the lane next to me was 88. And he's just swimming back and forth, got out, big smile on his face, and I was chatting with him. And I'm like, you're 88 years old. And it was actually his birthday that day. He was getting his swim in. It was super inspiring because I really want to, I think that's the key to longevity. I know there's all this stuff that's, science-based they're doing, but I think not having a sedentary lifestyle is one of the biggest things. So just staying active.
Mm-hmm. You're right. How often do you swim at the Village?
I was swimming there. I was trying to do 6 miles a week. So swim 6 days, a mile a day. And I backed off a little bit of that. Again, it actually got my aches and pains. I had an overuse left shoulder overuse issue I had to get some PT for. So I just got it back, and I surfed this summer. So I'm going to get back in the pool shortly. But again.
Something you do by yourself? You swim?
Yeah. And again, there's another, it's kind of a meditative practice. When you're staring at the bottom of a pool for an hour, nothing but your thoughts.
Right. No, I used to swim in high school, and I went through some phases at the village where I would go and swim 3 weeks, and then I'd stop. Something happened, and I stopped. When you swim, do you flip turn or you touch the wall?
God, so funny. I had this conversation yesterday. I am now a touch the wall guy.
I know.
I gave up. I don't know why, but I gave up the flip turn.
There's something a little too much effort with the flip turn. You're not racing,
no,
right? But it does keep the flow going. But I'm a touch the wall guy now too. I don't know if that's an age thing or not.
That's a funny question. And another friend asked me that yesterday. He's like, "How are your kick turns?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I really just touch the wall."
Are you doing the crawl, the freestyle? Are you doing
freestyle
breaststroke?
The whole time?
The whole time.
I'll do a little warm up. I got some zoomer fins I put on. I'll kick it out with a kickboard just to loosen up and loosen my back up.
So that doesn't count for the mile?
No.
Okay. So when you're there, are you there an hour?
It's pretty much an hour in the water.
I'm going to get back to that. I love that. I think swimming.
I feel the best I ever feel physically is when I get out of the pool. You got rhythmic breathing. You're oxygenated. You're really stretched out, and you weren't pounding on your joints at all.
Right. I know.
It's just a great workout. I do need to learn some other strokes though.
Oh, so
what else do you do?
I mean, I swam in high school, but so I could do butterfly, but I only did get my heart rate going. Breaststroke, sometimes backstroke, but mostly freestyle. Back in the day when I was swimming, it was called the crawl.
Do you wear a swim shirt while you're swimming? Or
No, I don't. I just.
That's the one thing I do worry about. I mean, you've been out here a long time too. It's a lot of sun.
Well, also, what time do you go?
Mostly late morning, just because it's not busy.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
One negative thing about the village pool is that it has sides. There's no reverse. There's no negative edge. So there's 5 lanes there, and all the water bounces back, even with lane lines. It's a very textured surface in that pool when people are swimming. Like most pools, the water goes out and then returns down and comes back in. That thing doesn't. It just gets like an open water swim. So I don't love that about it. But
there used to be a place. Was it off of Campbell? There was a pool. I think Brophy used to swim there.
Yeah, it's gone. That was great. That was a great
I went
pool.
there a few times. Just swam with the master class there.
Great pool.
Where'd they move it to? Where's the Brophy pool now?
I don't think they moved it.
No. I mean, I know they built apartments there, but they moved.
Oh, I don't know.
The pool. There's somewhere that offers that. I just don't. It might be somewhere in PV. I'm not sure. But yeah, your swimming is right. That's great. So shoulder. That's for me. I'm feeling something in my left knee. I don't know how. I don't know why. It's like things just start happening. That's kind of why I'm always doing the stem cells. I'm trying to waiting for a miracle with these. Everybody I know that goes and gets these stem cells with me, they have this incredible experience and these miracles, and I'm doing okay. I feel like I don't sleep very often, so I feel like I'm it's helping. I can't imagine what life would be like if I didn't do these stem cells. Maybe it'd be falling apart. But I don't know.
That's the thing, and you have these chronic injuries or long injuries. As soon as you start losing mobility, your lifestyle decreases.
Right.
So staying mobile is really the big goal. We went and saw, I don't know if Peter Diamandis is.
Yeah.
We went and saw Peter Diamandis speak at UCLA, and he had a couple openers for him. And one was this gal, she was an orthopedic surgeon, and her biggest message was, do not lose mobility. Do whatever you can to stay mobile. That's the one key to longevity.
Yeah.
She had all these case studies where as soon as people lost their mobility, their whole life started declining.
Were you going there just to see Peter speak?
We went specifically to see Peter. Didn't know she was going to be on.
Do you know him, or you were just as a fan?
No, it was a YPO event.
Oh, the YPO.
And we went with another couple.
Okay.
And I ended up through that lecture at UCLA. It was right when he started Health Nucleus with Craig Vettner. His company Hack the Human Genome.
Yeah. They have a place in San Diego, right?
And I've been going for 9 years now.
That's where they do the whole MRI on your body?
I've been going once a year for 9 years. I've got 9 years worth of comp data. And Peter broke off, and now he's partners with Tony Robbins at Fountain Life.
Fountain Life, okay.
Fountain Life.
Right.
But Health Nucleus still exists.
Right.
And we have a place there, so it's easy to go.
Right.
And I love it. I've got 9 years worth of data now, and I can see baseline from year one, anything over 9 years, what's changed. And
has anything changed?
I'm very fortunate. Not much. We've definitely made some adjustments here and there.
That's where they see your, because I've done the full body MRI, and that's where you see anything. everything, right? So that's what they do there, right? You do the full body MRI, they do the blood
got
work.
2 MRIs now. They used to have one, and you'd be in it for almost a couple hours. Now they have one, and it was for all your organs, brain down. And now they have one just for your brain, an MRI, and then you go into a different MRI for all the other organs down your body.
Right.
And it's really, the imaging is so, the technology's so great.
Right.
And they can really, I guess the big goal would be early diagnosis.
Right.
If you can catch something early.
Right.
Why not give yourself a better shot?
See, that's not biohacking. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what to call that whole living cleaner, being aware. Like, what do you call that? Because it's not biohacking, right? I don't have a name for it. But
well, do you wear any wearables, devices like
wear
Oura rings?
I wear the Whoop, and I have an Oura ring at night. I put it on at night.
Do you make changes based on the data you get from that?
Not really. I mostly do it to monitor my sleep, and I would do this to monitor my heart, my cardiovascular when I'm trying to do cardio, because that's my problem. I've got a lot of calcium in my heart, and I need to somehow get rid of it. And because I have a job where there's not a lot of sleep involved, I always monitor my sleep. And actually that's not true. I do tweak stuff. Like I'll go. Okay, I slept 4.5 hours here. I had 40 minutes of deep sleep, and not trying to be funny, but it's like we had sex, and I slept better. We didn't have sex, and I slept better. Like I'm looking at, like sometimes I'll look at my wife and I'll be like, hey, I got about 5 hours. I can get 5 hours tonight. And I think if we do it, I might have longer REM sleep, but she thinks I'm nuts. And I'm like, it's an experiment. Play along. And she plays along. But it's true. And I'm literally doing it. For every doctor I've ever interviewed on this podcast, I ask him that. I've asked a sleep doctor, if you're a guy and you have an orgasm before sleep, do you sleep better? And all of them say yes. And then I'm like, with a partner or without?
Even self-inflicted, it works.
Like, I need to know. I need specific. So, believe it or not, with a partner, the pheromones, you're more connected, and there's something intangible there that helps you sleep better, right?
So what else do you do for your sleep routine? Are you like blackout shades? Are you a certain temperature in the room?
Blackout shades.
White noise.
68 degrees in the room. I wear the Oura ring, and I wear this at night. Unfortunately, I have sleep apnea, so I wear a CPAP machine. I have a mouth guard because I grind my teeth. And then, no doctor told me to do this, but I bought an oxygen tank, and I have the oxygen tank 50 feet of tubing in my closet, but it's hooked up to my mask, so I sleep with oxygen at night. And the machine makes a lot of noise, and it bothers my wife, so I have to have it way far away because I'm hoping the oxygen helps me sleep better to get a deep sleep. Sometimes I will get a vitamin drip before I go to sleep. I'll try to get all the vitamins, and then sometimes they might throw a little Benadryl or a little bit of Toradol in there to help with the pain, any kind of body pain. But I'm just trying to look at what helps me sleep better because of the sleep apnea. And I feel that oxygen helps me sleep better. I don't know if that's smart. I told my doctor, and she's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. It's only a small percentage of pure oxygen, because also the Oura ring monitors your oxygen level. Like last night, I was at 100% oxygen. The night before, I was at 99% oxygen. And I don't know why, because I had the tank. Maybe I need to turn up the tank. But I do a lot of weird shit, Craig.
Do you have a prepare for sleep routine, like getting ready, downshifting before you?
Yeah, I put the phone away. I try not to be on my phone at all. I have a bunch of vitamins. I take some magnesium. I drink some magnesium before I go to sleep. I take some melatonin. I have a bunch of. Do you take vitamins?
D, methylated B12, and one specific calcium, because I have a little bit of osteopenia just because I've been so lean my whole life. I don't do a lot of strength training. I don't, again, worrying about a slip and fall as I'm older. So.
What? Okay, that's good. I weight train 5 days a week. You don't lift weights.
I do lift weights, but only recently, and I'm not a lot of weight yet. I'm just starting to more go through. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on my joints, so I'm just I'm really starting slow. I'm in the gym a few days a week.
At the Village?
I've been going over to the Global.
Okay.
But yeah, the Global's a whole nother.
It's a great gym.
It's a great gym.
Their equipment is fantastic.
Beautiful gym.
Yeah,
I'm starting to learn. But I've been 140 pounds for 40 years. I don't think I've deviated a pound in 40 years.
I weigh 110 pounds more than you.
Graduate high school this weight, and if I got on if there was a scale right here, it would be 140 pounds.
Did you grow up here in Phoenix?
Since the 7th grade. Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
Marcos Deniza High School.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a great school.
I don't know about great school.
I know the basketball coach there is great. The football program has been great.
When I was there, it was a little rough.
Oh yeah, well, it's still rough, I think. But yeah, okay, okay. Where'd you go? You went to ASU?
I went to ASU, met my wife. Yeah, in '88 at ASU, and yeah, a long time.
Wow. Don't see you don't. And then when'd you move? Get the place in San Diego?
We got a place in San Diego in 2011. We wanted the boys to be exposed to the beach, and they both surf. Both my boys are really good surfers, like lights out surfing, and so they surf a lot. And then my oldest son goes to Chapman up in Orange, California, so he surfs.
It's a great school too.
Newport and Huntington. He's having a great time. Yeah.
So we were in. We go to La Jolla every year my wife's from La Jolla and here. And this is the first time ever we had some friends in Del Mar, and so 4th of July. They told us about this market. Never been there before, and I feel like this is a gold mine, and it's right along the lines of what you guys are doing. It's that Seaside Market.
I was there Sunday.
It's a freaking that place.
My favorite grocery store in the country.
It's unbelievable.
You're not kidding.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
How does that? The guy I know knows the guy, and I was like, "You need to open one of these in La Jolla." And the guy said to him, he goes, "Look, my life is great right now. I make a lot of money with this restaurant. I know my stress levels. This is it. This is all I need to do." But that place is fantastic.
I have thousands of pictures on my phone from that store. I literally was there Sunday with Chris. We were there last past weekend, and we had a poke bar at our house. So we went there to get all the supplies.
Right.
It is truly, it's a community center.
It is. Have you had the crack?
Oh.
I had it shipped over here. It's unbelievable, man.
It is cool. That's a great place. Yeah, I love North County, San Diego, from La Jolla up, and Del Mar.
Have you been to Ken's Sushi?
My wife has, I haven't.
Oh, we go there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go there. That's where we want to be right now with us, which we haven't done yet. With being, as soon as we're empty nesters, we want to do the San Diego thing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Just always go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because it's just a...
Well, now JSX is flying into Carlsbad.
I know, I heard.
It's great.
Yeah, right?
Scottsdale to Carlsbad. We're going back this weekend. We invested in a restaurant that's opening this weekend. It's called Chick and Hawk, and it's one of the partners is Tony Hawk, and the other partners is Andrew, who's the most amazing chef, and he's got a restaurant, in Encinitas called Manna. Next time you're there, you have to go to Manna. I'd love to take you there.
I'd love to go.
It's our favorite restaurant in San Diego.
Is Tony Hawk going to be part of the...
He's part of the brand.
Wow, so you've met him, talked to him.
Yeah. In fact, I'd love to take you there sometime. It's going to be a really cool place. It's kind of a chicken sandwich place, but way elevated. Great 80s skate culture, design. California skate parks came and poured the patio walls.
Wow.
And Tony Hawk brought the Birdhouse skateboard team to skate it.
Wow.
It was really neat. I'll have to send you some pictures.
I'd love to see him, and I'd love to go. But, are you familiar with Andrew Huberman?
Sure.
Because he's got Tony Hawk connections too. He used to skate.
Oh, he's an old skater. Yeah,
He's an old skater, punk rocker. And Tony Hawk's dad, because his parents were never around. Tony Hawk's dad drove him back. I mean, I'm a huge Huberman fan. I'm a huge Tony Hawk fan. So that's crazy. I would love to check out that restaurant.
Yeah, it's really cool. So when I was growing up here, my parents would drive us out to the Del Mar Skate Ranch in the 80s. And I saw Tony skate back in the 80s at the Del Mar Skate Ranch. It's crazy, yeah.
Okay, wait. So you're in skating and surfing, you must be very much into 80s music or alternative music from the 80s.
That's my whole lifestyle.
That's your whole lifestyle.
It's so funny. Chris will tell you, it's all 80s and it's all alt 80s.
What concerts have you been to? Any or growing up? Which concerts did you go to?
Oh God, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. And again, I like telling these stories when you're in your 50s, all the great shows you went to.
Yes.
I remember, again, this is in 80s. This is technically like 90, but I saw Nirvana way before Nevermind came out. They had a first album called Bleach.
Yeah.
And I saw them at this little bar in Apache.
Wow.
With 24 people.
What year was that?
90 or 91. But I remember seeing the Beastie Boys in 85. I used to go see Social Distortion.
Okay, so here.
Beastie Boys played Celebrity Theater with Run DMC in 85.
By the way, I feel like Sabotage might be one of the greatest songs ever written. It's one of my favorite workout songs. But I started in radio in 1990 at 91X in San Diego. You know that station, right? 91X?
I have a sticker on my desk right now.
Okay. So I was so in love with radio. I thought I was there all the time. I was an intern. I was going to San Diego State and I was an intern at 91X. And I was there with the night guy. His name was Mike Halloran. And he had ordered a Domino's pizza with everything on, with jalapenos on it. And I had never, and pineapples. And I was like, that sounds amazing. And he goes, well, it's being delivered here in a little bit. When it comes, there's also a band coming. And he goes, when the band comes, can you let the band in? I'm like, sure. But what time's the pizza getting here? And he goes, probably around the same time. So I'm waiting. I see this blue and white Volkswagen bus pull up, right? And then I see the car, the Domino's pizza guy comes. Domino's pizza guy comes in, I open up, and I grab the pizza box. And there's these guys standing. I go, hey, can I help you? Yeah, we're the band. We're here to see Mike. And I go, what band? He goes, we're Nirvana. I go, oh, come on in. And they follow me in. We sit down in the studio, me, Mike, and Nirvana, and we eat pizza. Isn't that crazy? They had
What year?
1990?
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
They were probably touring on that Bleach album.
Yeah, I got tons of the same with Jesus Jones. I don't know if they're around. My first real job at the radio, I had to do 3 nights of Depeche Mode at Sports Arena in San Diego. Like, all that music is my music, man.
91X, mandatory Marley Mondays, was it? They played Bob Marley on Mondays.
Oh, yeah.
91X. How about this? The Red Hot Chili Peppers played at Big Surf. Remember Big Surf?
Yeah, 8th grade school, summertime, we'd go to Big Surf.
They played Big Surf in '89.
That's crazy.
There was a mosh pit in the sand at Big Surf. They had a stage on the beach. Those are some, that was
I
great.
took interns. I was an intern. I took a bunch of listeners from San Diego to LA to the Palladium to see Fishbone open for Red Hot Chili Peppers. Right?
Love Fishbone.
All right. And then that's well, I'm glad we had that music thing, man.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is
Party at Ground Zero.
New Order was one of my favorite bands. I saw them way back in the day so many times. They weren't the most exciting band to see on tour, but yeah, I love that music. That's great. And that's kind of that stuff, playing air guitar all the time as well.
Kind of, that kind of seeps into the culture. I grew up kind of Southern California skate punk, hip hop, skateboarding, and so.
What's your favorite concert?
So the last tour that Beastie Boys did before MCA passed away, we went and saw them at Red Rocks, and we're in the front row at Red Rocks, and it was the most magical experience I've had, being a Beastie Boys fan. And then the following, they were going to go on tour again, and we had front row at Hollywood Bowl, but MCA got diagnosed with cancer and passed away. So that Red Rocks Beastie Boys show was, how about you?
Best concert ever?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's so fresh in my mind, but this was one of the weirdest things. My kids are into hip hop, and Dutch, my youngest, Kanye was coming to town. He wanted to go see Kanye, but Kanye wasn't performing. He was just going to play his album. And we were at Footprint Center, and Kanye, it's sold out, and he's got his cell phone plugged in, and he's just playing tracks off his phone and then singing along. I thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life. It was so, and his kids were running around dancing, and he would just be like, he would play one of his hit songs. He would just play the hit song off his phone. Everyone would go nuts, and then he would play instrumental, and he'd start singing, and it was like, I was like, what? It was just so electric, and that was about 2 years ago. So, and maybe that's why, because it's been so long, I can't remember a lot of the concerts. But man, that's who's a psycho Beastie Boys fan, and in fact, what's the guy's name? What's the DJ that came in later?
Mixmaster Mike.
Mixmaster. In fact, he's going to be at U of A in a couple of weeks. Is Tommy Lloyd, U of A basketball coach?
Yeah.
The greatest band in the world for him is Beastie Boys. We go back and forth about it. Beastie Boys.
I've got a shrine at my home office. I really do.
You got to send me a picture. I'll send it to him.
So I just had Mixmaster Mike booked for our YPO holiday party, but then at the last minute didn't think it would translate. I love Mixmaster Mike, so we swapped him out. Now we got CNC Music Factory.
Gonna make you sweat till you bleed.
Just a little more like
jump to the rhythm. Jump.
I don't know if Mixmaster Mike.
Wait. Where is CNC gonna play? Where?
Well, we're having our YPO holiday party, and I had him booked for a millisecond, and then changed my mind because I just didn't think anyone would get it. I love him, but I don't think anyone else, it would translate to a holiday party with him just scratching and going crazy.
That is nuts. That is nuts. Oh my God. Have you seen the documentary of Beastie Boys?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's I didn't know that about you. That's very cool. Man.
Yeah, huge fan. When Licensed to Ill came out, I was in high school. It kind of changed everything, right? I mean, it was like.
But I work every day. It's like when I leave here today, I got a treadmill in my house. I'm gonna get on the treadmill and I do my little workout, try to get a couple miles in, but I always slide in Sabotage. I think Sabotage, what's your favorite Beastie Boys song? Like Sabotage is freaking amazing. It's just amazing. Everything about that song is amazing.
So that's in my list when I'm getting after it. But I remember waiting in line in Mesa at a Tower Records for like hours and hours when their second album, Paul's Boutique, came out. I was in line waiting for the release of that album. And that album to me is a masterpiece. Like, and you've heard other artists say that. The samples on that album back before there was Controls, it's really
Well, I'll listen to that when I get out of here to go to the treadmill.
Did you go into radio right after college?
In college, well, I was in college. Yeah, there was a radio station at the college, and a buddy of mine dared me to try out for the job, and I did, and I was hooked.
And how long were you at 91X?
I was at 91X from 90 to 92. In fact, I was at U of A. There's a restaurant there, and on the top of the restaurant inside, there's a 91X sticker. It says 91X, Year of the X. Those, if anybody has those stickers, like this restaurant, I had a part of I was the guy that delivered those stickers to all the outlets. So if I see one anywhere, I know at some point I had that. Like I was an intern. I drove the van. I put stickers on people. I'd go to the beach and spray the tattoos on people. The Miss Mission Beach pageant.
I'm not making this up. I will text you the minute I have a 91X sticker sitting on my desk at home at this exact moment.
Wow.
It's an original one, and I have a whole bunch of stuff on my desk. It just sits there.
I used to, there was a morning show, they were called Berger and Prescott, and I used to just sit in there and watch them do the morning show and ask them how they did the morning show. Then I would have to drive them around for appearances and stuff. And, you know, it was before MapQuest or before freaking Google Maps, and I would get lost trying to find my way around La Jolla or wherever these appearances were, and I would just pick the brain of these morning shows. Because first of all, they were the ones making all the money. Right, but I loved every second of it, meeting all the artists and stuff.
So you must have been to hundreds of shows. I mean,
hundreds. I've been. I can't
thousands.
say. Yeah, that's why I'm like. I get to a point now where I try not to go to concerts unless it's something special. And then here's the difference with the music we like. My wife is a yacht rock fan, so we go to every yacht rock or Yachtly crew, which is amazing because it's not the artist; it's a cover band doing all these. Have you been to Humphreys?
No, I have not been to Humphreys.
Well, you got to go to Humphreys.
We just went to the Rady Shell.
Oh, I've heard of that place. It's like a Humphreys, right?
Down there, yeah, it's outside. Yeah, I've been to Humphreys yet, though.
Humphreys.
We'll have to hook up this next summer when you're in La Jolla.
We'll be there. We'll be there most of the summer. Yeah, we're going there. We're gonna. Yeah, definitely. I'll text you every time I go there and see if just in case it works out. But thanks for jumping on the podcast with me. I don't know if I'm missing it. I got sidetracked now. I don't know if I hit all the points we wanted to hit. But wait, with Churn, the ice cream place, are there recipes? Is it your ice cream? Where's the ice cream come from?
Yeah. I mean, they're all our recipes that we own, and they're great, and Churn's awesome. And
do you eat dessert?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I don't.
You don't gain weight.
I'm just kind of, maybe I'm fortunate, but I am disciplined. I don't eat a lot of dessert, but I like sweets. And do you drink coffee?
I just started drinking coffee a couple years ago. In fact, I'm trying to, because my doctor told me, coffee suppresses your appetite, right? So I fast. I don't eat till 1 in the afternoon every day. And I have coffee. And when I go to LGO, I'm trying to understand the coffee there because they have like 4 selections. Are you that involved? Do you know the coffee?
Not well. And I'm not a coffee drinker, so it's not
so you don't even drink coffee?
No, not really.
I just started
a couple sips of
2 years ago. I just started drinking coffee. Never had coffee in my life and I think coffee's disgusting, but I like what it does. It definitely doesn't make me hungry. That blows me away.
So you intermittent fast. You don't eat lunch until 1.
Right.
And then when are you done eating at the end of the night?
7.
So you have a 6-hour window to eat.
Yeah.
And how many calories a day do you think you're consuming in those 6 hours?
I'm trying to do about 2,400, 2,500. I got my body fat measure the other day. I was 12.9% body fat, which I think is pretty good for my age.
Great. Super healthy.
Yeah. I mean, my kids are at 9%, but they're also 20, 21 and athletes. So I'd like to get my body fat down to, for one day, to like 9%, 10% for one day, just so I could. But I'm at 12%, and I'm living a good life. I mean, you know, in having 12%, I went to Cancun twice. I ate a lot of food. I was in London. I was in Amsterdam. I was in La Jolla. I was in Cabo, and I still was able to have this and eat and still stay at 12%. So I think I'm doing something right. You know what I mean?
It's a really healthy percentage. I mean,
yeah, I feel good about it. But thanks, Craig. Thanks for jumping on the podcast.
Happy to do it.
Okay, so welcome to our podcast. This is a little bit different today because this podcast is a spin-off of our radio show.